Whew, I definitely am in dire need of a retwist at this point. Or not even a retwist, I just need my hair done. I need someone with experience to touch my scalp. I need my loctician. It's pretty much where I'm getting it. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This video is not going to be for my main viewers, my main supporters, because y'all don't really care about no Bali. Unless you do and you're trying to get into it, you're probably trying to come out here next year or whatever. And I know my OGs, they watch every video. Thank you guys for that. But either way, I definitely wanted to share what I've learned as far as some of the things that I did not know I needed, but I'm so grateful that I had access to them, or just anything of that matter. So I'm going to be doing 5 must-haves that I know I would not be able to function without out here. Some of which I can't get out here that I would have had to bring from home. And then a couple of things I didn't necessarily need to focus so much about prior to coming out here that I felt I did. But once I got out here, I learned that I didn't need to stress about it. But this is really gonna be real informal. I'm gonna just get into it. And I know that if you're watching, you're probably just wanting me to get straight into it. So I'm gonna do that. So number 1 for my must-haves list is hands down a book bag, and preferably one with a zipper, because I don't know, when you're on a bike, if you're either getting a bike by yourself or you're ordering like a go check or a grab, you're just not gonna want to feel like you could possibly drop your items. Or if you're walking around, you're not necessarily gonna want to hold a bag all the time. And then also in the aspect of trying to prevent theft, you having a zipper works best, because you know it's gonna take a little bit more than for them to be able to slip their hand through like a flap over bag. So I think that it's just more functional. You can hold a lot more items. It's hands free. It just works. And I feel like if I didn't bring a book bag out here, I'd easily start looking for one to purchase. And I notice a lot of people have book bags, so I'm not out the loop. This is definitely something that I knew to bring, and I'm so glad that I did. Number 2, and this is something that I could have been just ignorant about, but I did not think about it, and I'm so glad that I was just prepared anyway. But hey guys, before I let you go ahead and finish watching this portion of the video, I want to step in and say that this is going to be a dingy moment for me. After editing this portion of the video, I'm realizing that more and more how dingy this was, but I'm going to keep it in the video for the sake of there possibly being someone making the same decision as me or not making the right decision. And so I'm just going to ask that you let this portion of the video slide and I'm going to thank you for that, and we're going to go ahead and continue on. Okay, if you plan on coming to Bali and you're planning on being out here for longer than maybe a week or whatever, you probably figured that you would get a SIM card once you got out here for your phone, so that you can have service while you're out here without relying on Wi-Fi. That's obviously something that, you know, a lot of people do once they get out here. But what I had no idea about, or better yet, I just didn't think about it, was that if you are currently paying off your phone like on a monthly basis, like you're on a contract like me, you're most likely not going to be able to get a SIM card out here because your phone is not going to accept it. I ended up going to Telkomsel, which is the service that I use for my phone, and I brought the phone that I use, which I just recently got a 13 Pro or whatever. Child, listen, I only got it because I vlog, so I try to use my phone more than I use a camera and things like that. But I would have stayed with my 11. But anyways, so I went to Telkomsel to get, you know, the SIM card, and after like sitting there for almost an hour, they couldn't put their SIM card in my phone, and they didn't really have, I want to say, even the English to tell me why. But from what I could tell, they were saying that my current service wouldn't allow for me to switch services, or just that my phone wasn't unlocked, I guess, whatever. But I thankfully did bring the phone I had right before this phone, which obviously I had paid it off in full through the contract or whatever. It was the iPhone 11, which I have right here. And while I didn't bring it with me to Telkomsel at that moment, I knew I had it with me at my stay. So the next day, I definitely got the SIM card in my older phone, and it worked. It was no problem. So from there, I recognized, like, had I not brought my phone out here, I wouldn't be able to use the apps that would be able to get me transportation, like Gojek and Grab, things like that. And so I say, if you're going to come out here, and especially if you're going to use Gojek and Grab, definitely bring a phone that has been purchased in full, and better yet, bring another phone, period. If you do have another phone outside of your main phone, just bring it, just in case, because you never know what will happen, and you never want to be in a place where you just don't have a way to get in touch with anybody. Now, if I am the only person on earth that did not know that, please don't be in the comments like, girl, you slow. Just give me grace. But I'm really saying this just in case there is anybody who didn't think about it. If you got a phone that you did not pay off in full, don't expect to get a SIM card when you're out here unless you have a separate phone that is paid off in full. Period. Number 3, which I feel like everybody knows this, but just in case, this is something that I hands down needed as soon as I got out here, and that is an international plug adapter. More specifically, a plug adapter that has the Type-C outlet piece thing, whatever. I'll put a picture of it on the screen, but it's the Europe Type-C version of outlet plug thingy or whatever. Obviously out here there are different outlets than, I live in the US, so than other countries and things like that, so you definitely want to bring that with you. I'm not gonna say that you can't purchase that when you're out here, but you don't want to have to do too many things once you get out here. I mean, you're already going to be trying to go get a SIM card if you're trying to stay out here for longer. You're already looking for a way to get money and things like that. All these things you don't want to add to your list. So I would say definitely bring that before you come out here, especially if you end up in a position where you need to charge your phone. You don't want to have to look for a place to go get an adapter in order for you to charge your phone. You know what I'm saying? So definitely get that in the Type-C model. Even if it has multiple types, make sure it does have the Type-C. Number 4, and again, I feel like this is self-explanatory, but I definitely want to put exclamation marks behind this when I say bring a medicine kit. Not just the first aid kit where you have your band-aids and, you know, the tape and all that stuff, the antiseptic, oil, or what is it, grease, what is it, ointment, there we are. Make sure you're bringing a medicine kit, and it's obviously going to be self-made, but I say make sure you bring your cold medicine. Make sure you bring something that's going to help with your stomach, something that's going to help, like Benadryl for your allergies or anything like that. Even if you don't have issues with allergies or issues with getting a cold, say you haven't had a cold in 5 years. For example, me, I have not had a cold for the longest of time, and even if I got something close to a cold, it would go away fairly quickly. I would say less than 24 hours. But once I got out here, my first entire week, I would say almost 2 weeks, I was sick. And I wasn't just regular sick where, you know, after a while it would get better. No, if I took one day of me not doing any remedies, I would get worse again. So I had to keep remedying my cold or whatever it was until it got better. And I almost did not bring all of the cold medicine that I had, but I would say bring more than even I did. Bring something for congestion. Definitely bring Benadryl, even if you don't have allergies. You never know, because there are different bugs out here, and you definitely don't want to learn that you have an allergy to something when you come out here. So bring allergy medicine. I would say bring charcoal tablets. That's really good for drawing out the impurities in your system, especially your stomach and things like that. So bring charcoal tablets. I'll link it down below, the ones that I got with me. My mom actually ground up some black seed and had me bring that, and that's really good for, you know, it's just a well-rounded supplement. I really don't know what it is, but it's like one of those health things. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like a good thing. It's all encompassing where it can almost help you with any type of sickness, like if you have a cold or if you have congestion or if you have a stomach issue or whatever. It's just a good all-around type thing to bring with you. But if you're not into the more holistic route, make sure you bring something for all types of sickness, even if you have like Tums or Pepto-Bismol for when you're on a flight, or Dramamine for having motion sickness, all types of stuff. Make sure you bring the whole deal. Do not come out here without medicine. It don't matter how strong your immune system is. Your immune system, if you've never been out here before, has never encountered this type of environment, and you're going to be shocked in one way or another. That's all I'm gonna say. Number 5 for me is definitely bring a long sleeve something. If it's a long sleeve denim jacket, as long as it's like a little lighter, or a long sleeve cardigan, or a long sleeve kimono or whatever, make sure you bring at least 1 or 2, just because you're gonna go to the beach at some point, or you're gonna go inside the pool or whatever, and you may have worn sunscreen, which I guess I'll put that on the side of this, so long sleeve / sunscreen. But even if you wear sunscreen, say you go into the pool and you come out, I'm only speaking from experience here, you're probably gonna forget to put on sunscreen, and then you're gonna be on the back of the bike or on the bike, and you're going to be burnt, okay? And in that case, I would say make sure you have a long sleeve, because I don't think a lot of people realize this, but the locals out here, they definitely wear long sleeves more often than not. I see more tourists wearing short sleeves and they end up sunburnt. But I will be on the road with other people that are on their bikes, especially the locals and everything, the Gojek riders, the Grab riders, everybody has a long sleeve on. And for like a week, I was looking like, ain't it hot to you? Maybe they're just used to the weather, but no, they do that to prevent, obviously, their skin from getting fried. I feel like that's self-explanatory, but I feel like a lot of people are like, it's gonna be hot, make sure you bring this and this, make sure you bring all flowy stuff. Also, make sure you bring long sleeves, especially if you're lighter skin and you're more prone to sunburn. Even if you're dark skin, because you just want to protect your skin, period. And you never really know. And then also, honestly, it does help you to stay cooler. I know some people are like, I just can't do it. Okay. I'm just saying, you want the opportunity to keep your skin from sizzling. So I would say bring a long sleeve, at least 2 long sleeve anything, even if it's a button up, bring it with you. I'm gonna put a bonus on here and give you a number 6, because this was something that just recently happened for me. Just make sure that you bring a closed-toed shoe. This sort of pairs in with the long sleeve as well. If you're going to be going into the immigration office for when you're going to renew your visa or anything like that, they do ask that you don't wear a sleeveless top, short shorts, and flip-flops. They want you to wear more presentable clothes. So I would say bring a closed-toed shoe for that, as well as the long sleeve. But then on the other hand, when you are on the bikes, whether you are driving yourself or you're on the back of the bike, make sure you wear closed-toed shoes. And the only reason why I say that is because I had the unfortunate experience of being on the back of the bike, and my driver tried to squeeze in between 2 bikes, and they do that often. It's a really crowded street normally when you're driving, but unfortunately, when he did this one specific time, he squeezed a little too close to one of the bikes, and my foot got caught in between both of the bikes. And thankfully, I was wearing my Crocs. They're like off-brand Target Crocs. But I was wearing closed-toed shoes, because even though it was painful and I definitely still ended up with a bruise on my toenail, I know for a fact that if I was wearing flip-flops, it would have been more damage. And I'm not going to say that that's going to happen for you, but I'm just saying be careful, be cautious, and the best way to avoid excess damage is to just wear closed-toed shoes when you're on the bike. And also, if you're going to be walking a long distance, or if you're going to be doing the hiking situation, bring gym shoes, obviously, but you knew that. But just in case you were into the more relaxed thing and you just want to be at the pool and things like that, if you end up on a bike, wear closed-toed shoes. You heard it from me. Now, if you don't do it and you don't end up with that problem, fine. But if you don't do it and you end up with your foot smashed, don't say I didn't tell you. Now I'm going to talk about 2 things that I did not have to worry about, but that I did worry about prior to coming out here. Number 1, hands down, is clothing. Now, I know my last two tips were pretty much like clothing and all that, but outside of those things, I would honestly say that I overthought my clothing when I was packing to come out here. I was thinking like what I'm gonna do as far as color coordination, making sure that I'm not putting any jeans or any thick clothing in my bag, and making sure that I have at least 3 swimsuits, at least 5 pairs of shirts, at least 4 pairs of pants, and then 2 shorts, and all of these things. I'm really overthinking it, right? But the reality is, when you come out here, there's going to be so many opportunities to purchase clothing, and you're probably going to do it not even just because you don't have enough clothing, but because you want to. You know, when you go to a new place, you often leave with something that can remind you of the place. So if you're gonna be coming out here, you're probably gonna go to the mall, you're probably gonna find some cute clothes, and you're probably gonna purchase them. So I would say, number one, when it comes to clothes, don't overthink it. I know there's gonna be a ton of people telling you to make sure that you bring at least 3 of this, at least 5 of this. Wear what you want to wear. I would say even if you bring 1 swimsuit, when you come out here, you can purchase more. As long as you have at least 1 core or at least 2 core, especially if you plan on coming out here for longer. Now, if you plan on coming out here for a week and you're the type to really want to be prepared and you set up an outfit for every single day of that week, go off. But if you plan on staying out here for a month or more than that, and you're like, oh, I need to make sure that I have... Don't overthink it, because you're going to stress out, okay? Don't overthink it with the color coordination. Oh, I need to make sure I bring all neutrals so that when I come out here... Listen, bring what you want to wear. Obviously, make sure you have some core pieces, but you're probably going to purchase something else. And there are laundry services that are not that expensive where you can get your clothes rewashed, and they're everywhere. So you're not going to have to worry too much about clothing altogether. Just make sure, like I said, you have the long sleeve. Make sure you have a closed-toe shoe. Other than that, I alternate between literally 3 pairs of shoes. I brought 4, and I don't even wear the 4th one. And then I wear my same clothes over and over, but I don't even plan on keeping these clothes. I plan on giving them away because they were all cheap from Shein and other like thrifted things. I plan on giving them away and literally coming back with none of these clothes, or probably just a couple pieces from out here, just because, I mean, I don't feel like repacking all this stuff again. I definitely only brought a carry-on. That's another story. But anyways, I say that to say, don't stress out. It's really not that serious. Whatever you didn't bring, as far as clothing goes, you can buy it out here. I literally bought one of those sticky bras from out here because I forgot to bring one. And it really wasn't that serious, because if I didn't bring that, I would just go braless. And, you know, it as long as it didn't look ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But it's not that hard to make it work with the clothes that you brought. I'm gonna leave it there. Number 2 is definitely going to be money for me. So I'll give you a quick background. Obviously, I planned on coming out here for a longer term stay than the typical week or whatever. And so I was really stressing out when it came to how I was going to both manage money, manage my bills from home, and pretty much have access to money when I came out here. And I was overthinking it a lot. I was trying to open up sub accounts, and I was trying to get other cards and all these things before I came out here. Once I came out here and I got accustomed to how things are out here, I realized very quickly that I was overdoing it. As of now, I have my debit card, I have a MasterCard, which is just a credit card, and that's it. I didn't bring a wad of US dollars, and so in that case, I did not have to go to a money exchange place. I have yet to go to a money exchange place, because you can get gypped over there unless you go to the really good ones, but there are some iffy ones out here that if you go to a money exchange place, you probably will get gypped. They'll steal a little bit of your money without you and act like they didn't. It's just some funny stuff that sometimes happens, but I've never had to go to a money exchange place because I didn't bring cash out here, and I would honestly suggest that. I would say bring your debit card and a MasterCard. A lot of places prefer MasterCards versus Visas and things like that out here, so I brought a MasterCard because I can use that more frequently than I would another type of credit card. And I like to use my credit card because I earn more rewards and points and things like that, so it pans out. And then also I'm less likely to have a fraud type of situation go on. And then when it comes to my debit card, I will go to a very secure ATM, preferably one in like a mall or something where there's security around. I will go to the ATM and I will withdraw money. And I know a lot of people are like, but what about the ATM fees? I have yet to run into an ATM foreign fee that was like more than $2. Now, I'm okay with the $2. But other than that, I feel like maybe your bank is a little different. So I would just contact your bank and see what, their foreign transaction fees and things like that are. But as far as my bank goes, I have not had any ridiculous transactions or anything like that. And then also I do have points with my bank, so I'm able to waive anything if I don't like what it looked like. So with that being said, ATMs are my best friends, especially the ones where there is security around and I don't have to go to an ATM every day. I would normally withdraw a reasonable amount of money in their currency out of the ATM, and then I use that when I cannot use my credit card, and I'm literally good. I'm perfectly fine. I did not have to overthink it. I did not have to figure out which money exchange places I need to go to. None of that. I didn't have to open a sub account, and honestly, I'm gonna close the one that I opened because it was a little funny acting anyway. It was really not worth it. And overall, I'm just gonna say, don't overthink the money thing, especially if you don't plan on coming out here for longer than like a week or something. You can do just fine with an ATM and a credit card, period. With that being said, that was really it. I really wanted to share these things that I've learned, and I hope that if you are looking forward to coming out here, or even if you were just interested in figuring out what I learned, I hope that this was meaningful to you. But with that being said, I love you all so much, and I'm so thankful for your support, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.